Hi, I'm Miles Protter of the Values Partnership, and today I'm going to talk about how to ask good questions that help people solve their own problems. This is a superpower. And it's part of Listening 3.0 in my series, When Leaders Listen, We Change Our World. The reality I find in many organizations is that most of the time people do not ask good questions. They don't have time, they're too impatient, or they ask questions that satisfy their own curiosity, like, how much? How big? And then what did she say? It does nothing to help the person solve the problem. And there's something really crazy I heard the other day in one of my workshops. A guy said, look, in my previous company, we had this app that we were supposed to go to that would ask us these questions. But the questions were so complicated and the app didn't care. It's like, this is the most insane thing I've ever heard. So how do we ask good questions, right? And this is really worth investing time in, because when we help people solve their own problems, it saves a lot of time. So I first learned this from a French neuroscientist called David Servan-Schreiber, who was trying to help GPs who only have 15 minutes to diagnose and treat their patients, and who are coming in often with undefined mental health problems, and they want to be respectful. So these are great questions, and they apply equally well for us when we're trying to help someone else solve a problem, work. So what are these questions? Number one, we ask, what would you like to talk about? Very simple. It gives control over the topic over to them. Number two, we ask, what happened? And then just sit back and let them tell the story. And if there's pauses and breaks, just be patient while they work it out. Number three, ask, is X the problem? And wait for them to respond. And they may say, no, it's not the problem. And then help them to keep going, to figure out what the problem is, to formulate it. Number four, how does this problem make you feel? This helps them get to the very essence of what the issue really is. Number five, ask them, and what would you like to do, if anything, about this problem? Again, you're encouraging action. So I've taught this method to hundreds of people with no experience, right? And the results can be absolutely extraordinary. And one of the things I heard recently, a guy in a workshop, he'd done this listening training, and he went out and he went to see a government regulator he's been trying to convince to change his mind about a decision for months. But this time, instead of going in to just beat this guy over the head with facts and PowerPoints and arguments, he thought he would just go in and listen. And he really did. He listened to the guy. And he said, the most amazing thing happened. I really heard where the guy was coming from. And I learned that, if we just move together a little bit, we can actually overcome this problem. So, look, I hope you found that helpful. Try these questions with people who are at work, who are stuck with something, and help them solve the problem. And tell them you're taking them through a list of questions so they don't think you're psychoanalyzing them or something. So that's it for Listening 3.0. Next, I'm going to introduce Listening 4.0, which is how to learn by listening. See you then.